welcome to another Saturday morning nerd out. I am Graveyard, and it's just me right now. But let's bring on the other panels. We have a great show planned for you today. We have the X5 variant himself, the Brad of a Problem, should do.
Hey,
how's it going?
It's going.
It's going. You ready to nerd out this morning?
Definitely. Let's do it.
All right. Well, next up, we have the puzzle queen herself, the queen of screams, Mezzo.
Angie Mezzo.
Good morning. Hi, Chris. Good morning.
Hey, Chris.
Morning, Chad. Morning, Say Wong.
Yeah. You ready for this nerd out this Saturday morning?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tired, but I have caffeine to help.
Ooh.
But if you guys don't know, if you have your own full of caffeine, check out Debbie.
Oh, we'll get to that.
I know. More on that later. But I was up till 1 a.m. working.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey, Fray girl.
Hi, Fray girl. In the comments. And yeah, I'm ready. Yes.
All right, but finally we have the model for Miss Minutes herself, the one and only Fray girl.
Woo!
Hi everybody. I was just saying morning to the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we know, but
That wasn't a cue or anything. I wasn't like,
yeah,
not
James has got his
desperate to be
PJs.
on screen or anything like that.
He's got-
James has got his. James, you make me so tempted to wear pajamas and have a bowl of cereal with me, but I don't think anyone would appreciate the crunching, first of all. And I'd be wearing pajamas but in be full makeup still. So,
Right? Yeah.
I'm assuming James just sleeps naked, so he's just naked eating cereal.
Chris, put on some soup. What soup, dude? Let me know.
Soup. I mean, is cereal just soup? Cold
It's,
steeped?
it's like Vichy swap.
I mean, you gotta admit that where you are, it's lunchtime. So
Yeah, it is lunchtime for some of us, not in California.
Right.
It's a wild forest.
Mr. Forrest is in the chat. Mwah, to my premiere baby.
All right.
Oh.
Well, if you aren't caffeinated for some particular reason, first off, why? Why are you not caffeinated? Right? But on top of that, we have something just for you in case you are not caffeinated. We have the one and only sponsor, Dubby. So whether you're just waking up for our nerd out, staying up late gaming with us, stuck in your Retro Alcove for hours at a time, or just tired from all your Saber fights, our sponsor is just for you. That's right, Dubby. It has no calories, no sugar, no fillers, no artificial colors. Each serving has 150 milligrams of caffeine, which is the same as 2 cups of coffee. I myself drink 4 cups of coffee every morning because I get tired a lot. And because this contains Neurofactor, you'll get all the energy with none of the jitters and all the focus. So you get 10% off. Go to www.dubby.gg and use code KCP2023 for your 10% off your Dubby. So let's get shouts out to Dubby, who is awesome. I know Mezzo has her own.
Dubby.
Yes.
Beat.
Uh-oh. She's quiet. Can't hear her.
Well, I was typing something, so I was trying to be.
Oh, your loud
considerate.
keyboard.
Yeah, on OBS, I can do noise suppression, right? Which I turned on Friday, so you don't hear the clickety clack. But on here, you hear the clickety clack no matter what. And last Sunday, it was made very prevalent to me during our Ladies of Lightsaber show how prevalent it was.
It was quite
which
loud.
does remind me that I added. So you can hear it right now, right? I added so on a Stream Deck. For those who don't know what that is, it's like a little control panel with buttons on it. And I have if I have the Chrome window open with StreamYard, I can just press a button. I did. Hang on. I just mute myself that way instead of having to hit Control D on my keyboard. Then it's quiet to mute myself too. But I remember that. So as some of you know, like the ambassador for Nomad Trek that I am, I'm also became ambassador this last week for another gaming setup company, and I hadn't put the banner in yet, and I was kind of working on it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
This is you guys are getting the behind the scenes here. This is
the behind the scenes. Anyway, go on. Ignore me.
But
oh my gosh, Venture Brothers,
ignore me.
But let's get into this nerd out, shall we? Because what if just what if? What if time? What if, you know?
Hey, y'all, and welcome to the Special Projects Division of the TVA. You have been selected for this special project by our leader, and goodness gracious, he said such sweet things about you. The Game Master will give you all the details so you can keep the sacred timeline intact. Remember, we take the timeline seriously here at the TVA, and you are the most important part of this sacred mission throughout the multiverse. Take it away, Game Master.
Yes, thank you, Miss Minutes.
Yes.
What time is
thank
it?
you.
It's Where in Time is Loki.
Exactly.
Take it away, Game Master.
Thank you guys so much. All right. You know what? I have been loving this game so far. I think the time periods are kind of cool because it's like, okay, you know, we know they're going to go somewhere. And yes, there will be running, but it's been kind of cool. So I like it. All right. So on episode 2 called Breaking Brad, love it. Love
Amazing.
the titles. The titles have been amazing lately. I just have to say that. Ahsoka included. All right. So the Miss Minutes Minute. Here we go. I have 15. The top 15 things that happen in this episode. First, Loki and Mobius enjoy a little show in London, and they understood the assignment. Tags. All right. Brad Wolf, the actor, maybe he knows Kevin Bacon. B15 takes command and wears a tie. And it was really, she did a really good job. It was very fashionable for her. All right. OB is trying to fix the temporal loom. We see the TVA guidebook again. Is this our MacGuffin? Casey flexes his mechanical muscles, and has some information. Brad/X5 is surprisingly astute and gets under Mobius's skin. Mobius and Loki bond again over pie. Dean Winchester would be very proud. Metal Sporks. This place has everything.
I saw that.
I know. Right? OB has more bad news. Temporal aura style. Loki boxes Brad/X5 in and he takes them to Sylvie. Casey fangirls over OB. Sylvie and Loki have a moment in a McDonald's. Sylvie kept the Uber temp pad, which I think might be important. Dox turns out to be a time terrorist, and B15 mourns the victims. And your bonus 16th, Renslayer is found. Maybe. And that's your Miss Minutes.
Woo!
Thank you.
Miss Minutes in a minute.
I was going to say, I have no idea if it is a minute or not. I have never done it. But, all right. So, the point stand at, Graveyard. Okay. So, Graveyard he ran the gambit and it paid off. He not only got the 50 Space Stone paperweights, he also got the 25 Power Stone paperweights because he said they were going to find the actor, and they did. So I was like, man. So he started with 5 planters last week. That's what he got. And this week, because of the 50 Space Stone paperweights and the 25 Power Stone paperweights, he has jumped to 80 points total and is in our lead right now. So congratulations.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you. I can see the future, but only for Loki.
Only have eyes for Loki.
I haven't done as well this so far.
Right. I was gonna say Mezzo has 10 gauntlet planters. I am loving your wibbly wobbly.
I want that to happen so bad.
I love them. So I'm like, I have to give you points for that. Shadu also has 10 planters. His gauntlet planters. So they're Thanos gauntlet planters. So just to let you know. And then Phil and James are both tied at 55 points because they both had 5 gauntlet planters and both got the 50 space stones. I mean, we all said 82 really. So it was like almost everybody did. So it was like half the people did. So.
Except for me.
Right.
I didn't play it safe. I went for Fray.
So Captain Lady Moon has 10 gauntlet planters because she said Doctor Who, and anytime you say Doctor Who and it has to do with the show, I'm going to give you points for that. I love the Doctor Who references. They ran a lot. I was like, this is totally David Tennant's Doctor Who. Why are they messing with us on that? There was a Buffy reference in there that I think maybe I'm the only one that thinks it's a Buffy reference, but we'll get to that. All right. And then Fours has he has a total of 60 points because he won last week, and then he had some really good timey-wimey theories. So he got some points for that. So he's at 60. So everybody's pretty much on the board now. And yeah. And
what are you at?
Me? Oh, did I not do mine? Oh, I did. I skipped me. I'm at 60 points as well. So Fours and I are tied at 60.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
I said 82 because I wanted to go back to Broxton, Oklahoma. I was like, we got to go back. We got to go back.
If only Asgard was there.
I know, right?
I thought.
Well, we don't know. Jack might be Thor. How do we know?
All right. So, what predictions do you need from us this week?
This week, so for episode 3, we're looking for a time period. So, and that can be, any time period, apparently. There aren't so many branch timelines anymore, so that kind of narrows that down, but
yes,
right,
Fours.
Yeah, I know. I was like, he was so close, but he gave me a year, not like a decade. I was like, I could have fiddled with it.
All right. Well, since you're on screen, do you want to go first there, Fray?
Sure. Yeah, I did mine this morning
Mm-hmm.
because I watched Loki again today. I always watch Loki twice before we do, or any of the things. If we're ever doing a game or whatever, I'm always watching the episode at least twice, just in case I missed something the first time because I was shocked or something. So I watched it again this morning, and from that, and because of something that they said at the very end, I think this is where we're going next.
I think I know what you're going to say too.
Yeah, I said 1909 to 1919 because I can't remember like the exact date that they put in the comics for the World's Fair that Victor Timely was in. But I think that's where they're going next because I think Renslayer has found Victor Timely, and that's where Miss Minutes is as well. So because of that, so I think that's where we're going next. At least some of them will go. I'm thinking Loki and Mobius, and I'm really loving the Loki Mobius like buddy cop kind of like thing going on now. Like they're really leaning into it, and I love that because like Mezzo said, the Shanghai Noon, and there's like Shanghai Nights and stuff. I love like Owen Wilson in buddy movies. I think is such his strong suit, and him with Tom Hiddleston, And I did notice a little. I think Hiddleston was channeling a little bit of De Niro in a couple of the scenes in the episode, so you guys can look forward to that. I just think maybe I'm just thinking too much of it, but whatever. Anyway, my wibbly wobbly timey-wimey theory is Ravonna Renslayer sings.
Nice.
Interesting.
I like it.
I will give that a solid green. How about you, Shadu? What do you give it?
Well, seeing as it is similar to mine, I am going to also give it a sacred timeline. I'm going to give it a green.
What about you there, Mezzo?
Gosh, freaking hey, ditto. Like I hear it and I'm like, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just so convincing, aren't I? I was like, maybe I'm a Loki variant.
Maybe you are.
Ooh.
All right, Mezzo, What's your prediction?
Okay. I'm gonna stick to the 40s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, gosh, I think it was really funny about this week. By the way, I did not recognize X5 for a minute because I was so used to like this guy.
Yeah.
Like that.
I think they did that on purpose, but I agree with you. If I hadn't already known that they were the same actor.
Yeah.
But I
didn't realize that person. So when I saw him, I was like, oh, that's X5. I saw the arm scars and I realized it was, and I was like, holy smokes, that guy's great, because I did not realize it was the same person. Okay, moving on. My like one kind of prediction for this episode, I guess. I want to see OB leave the TVA. That's kind
of
I absolutely.
I think because I feel like I don't think we're gonna necessarily find out his life. I think we're gonna find that out eventually about Mobius, but I don't think this episode. But yeah. So that's what my guess is, that it'll be somehow leaves the TVA in some way.
All right.
Oh gosh, see him in the 40s makes me think of Everything Everywhere All at Once. When he was like in the suit and like all dapper, and it was like Oscar time.
When he was like the mogul and she was the actress.
Yeah, and he's like in the alleyway having a smoke and like looking all fly, and I'm just like, hey.
And she comes out and she's all like coiffed and in that beautiful dress.
Oh my
and she's
goodness, both of them looked amazing.
Hi. Like,
actually,
oh my gosh.
I rewatched his Oscar win the other day just to cry.
What if a secret cameo is Michelle Kwan.
Yo.
It's not Michelle Kwan. Michelle Yeoh.
She's in the Marvel universe, so that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
What if so let's say he is a variant. Like I don't think he is, and wish to do on that, but let's say he is a variant. What? So we go out and then suddenly he's like her, like
they're reenacting Everything Everywhere All at Once, but rewritten for Loki.
It was like the one you didn't see, like the one part you didn't see. It was like they were also in the MCU, but you didn't see that everywhere.
Like hot fingers come up.
Okay. Jamie Lee Curtis comes in.
Anyway, okay.
Like, all right.
Moving on.
All right. So, Fray, what do you give that prediction?
Well, I always love Mezzo's predictions. I really do, because I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
So, and girl has won the last couple games, so we gotta take what she says a little bit. A little bit more. She's her cred is her street.
I think I'm just lucky in those instances. Really.
In my experience, there's such thing as luck.
Well, it's like, okay, so when it comes to the background, like I told Fray, the lore of like these things, I don't know. Like I don't really know comic book stuff. Like I just know like major events sometimes. But I love to write my own stories. No one ever reads them and no one ever will. It's just for my own like creative outlet. Yeah. But my brain then thinks about, where would I take this story to make impact on the audience? And that's what my brain tries to think about. And be entertaining at the same time. So that's what my brain thinks about.
Nice.
I love it. I think
really good strategy.
I'm going to give it, I'm absolutely giving it the sacred timeline, 100%. But a green, but I just love it because you come at it from such a different way than I do, because I do know about the lore, and if I don't, like, I'm like, man, that sounds familiar, like I might not remember it, I'll go and research it and I'll be like, I totally knew what that was, so whereas you're like, I'm just coming from, this is like
an audience perspective in a sense, because I know they're not going to necessarily follow every. We know from the movies and
not even
shows,
close.
It's not like they follow the comic books bit by bit. So I know that they have that creative freedom to kind of do what they want. Mm-hmm. And my heart just wants to see some kind of reference to Shanghai Noon, and my heart would explode if Jackie Chan was there, and then Jackie Chan and OB had some kind of moment.
Well, Michelle Yeoh and Jackie Chan are really close friends. Yes. So this could happen. This is not out of the realm of possibility.
Like,
and what if they both are there?
Yeah, my brain would explode probably, and you wouldn't see me on Saturday morning or not the next time because I'd be dead. But yeah, like so because actually when I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, my first thought was like, did they just de-age Jackie Chan for that role for like a split second? And I realized, obviously that wasn't him, but I was like, it just gave me reminiscence of it too. So that'd be really funny if they had like a moment, even if it wasn't Mandarin.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so I gave you the green. All right,
Shadu, what do you give it?
God, I feel bad giving it something other than a grade. It's
fine. I'm not offended. I give myself a fat red mark.
Let's give me some more credit than that. No. I'm gonna prune it. Yellow. I'm sorry.
It's prudent. It's okay. It's okay.
Prudent. I'm gonna say yellow.
I still love you.
I know. I love you too.
I will give it a yellow because I don't think it'll be the 40s. Everything else sounds great.
That is also the reason I'm giving
for
it.
this episode specifically. I'm thinking OB leaving the TVA, but like the whole Jackie Chan stuff is the wibbly wobbly.
Right. Yeah. I got you.
All right.
Well, and I was thinking about this because last episode they went to what? They went to the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, they're so close.
Yeah, so.
And the only reason I'll never guess the 50s is because the TVA aesthetic is so 50s. Like what's that term they use when they like the Brady Bunch house style, modern.
Oh,
like so much of the TVA is very Fallout 50s like style that I feel like visiting the 50s would just feel kind of too much of the same.
It's like retrofuturism.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mod.
Right. Shadu.
Mod.
Shadu, what you got?
All right. So, I also thought of World's Fair. So, okay, so I'm going to say 1939 specifically. But still on a branch timeline. So there's still a few. I still think we're going to go to one because they need to get to Renslayer, they need to find a Kang variant, which will be Vector Time. So I think the 1939 they go to is kind of an alternate steampunk version, essentially, of the New York World's Fair, which happened in 1939. So that's there.
You and Mezzo are pretty close.
Yeah.
Like she said 40s, you said 39.
I said 39. So yeah.
Parallel thinking.
What's your wibbly wobbly?
My wibbly wobbly timeline is that the Loki we've seen in the show so far is an illusion. And the real one is still time slipping, and that's why the doors won't open. That's why the blast doors won't open. Is because they didn't solve anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I will give that. Someone's click on comments. I already went through those.
You're like, wait, this looks familiar.
Yeah. That was 12 minutes ago. I will give it a yellow, and I'll explain why when I give my time period.
Okay.
So he's gonna prune it.
Mezzo, what do you give it?
Can a yellowish green work?
A yellowish green,
like in between.
Like half prune it, half
it's
keep it,
Is that yellowish green? Is that puke green?
No,
prune the top half, not the bottom.
It's like a lime. It's like a lime.
Just prune the legs off. No, I'll give it a green.
I think it's called cerulean.
Cerulean.
That color. I think it's called.
Sounds
I don't
so
know.
strange.
No.
All right, what do you give it, Fray?
I feel like I should give it a sacred timeline because, familial and all that. But
you don't have to.
And I do enjoy. I enjoyed the wibbly wobbly, the Loki we've seen his illusion. Is it Viridian? Is that the
I thought Viridian was like a much lighter green, but whatever. Anyway.
All right, and And so I thought that was kind of cool because we haven't seen all of the Olive. We haven't seen Olive. No, we haven't seen the other time slips in his that were in the trailer. And so
that's mostly what I was going off of.
Yeah. So I mean, it could happen. I don't like part of it could happen, but like I don't know if he's still time slipping. I think it might be that we get a flashback like, where have you time slipped? They find out there's a correlation between that and like the people he knows in the TVA. And so that might be our buy-in to get to those timelines. And those timelines may be the ones that were spared because those variants know that they're variants. Mm-hmm. So anyway.
Or it could be, well, if we want to go with that, the ones that were spared, essentially, or the ones that like were immune to it or whatever, are the ones that Loki slipped into.
Yeah, it could be like one way or the other. So you know, we don't know what he did there. We don't know how long he was there. You know, time is weird in the TVA. So that, I mean, that's why I'm like, ooh, that's good. So I'm gonna give it a prune it, because I honestly don't think we're going to 39. I think it's earlier than that. I think they want something that is does, like as Mezzo said, gives that time, that look variation, and things started changing in like the 20s, like the way people dressed and everything. And so if we go pre that, it's going to look like we're out of present time more. And plus, the costume designer will probably get an Emmy if they go back to like Victorian times, because they like giving Emmys to period piece stuff. So for costumes. So I mean, you know, if we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about the whole thing. All right. But yeah, so I say yellow.
All right. Well,
I love you, son. I love
you. So this takes place in the 1893 Chicago World Fair. So 1893.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, that is the 100% because that's the debut of the Ferris wheel, which is there. And that's in Chicago.
Chicago.
And because that was the first introduction, essentially, to the precursor to Walt Disney's World of Tomorrow, was at the 1893 Chicago World Fair.
And they would do that.
They would do that. Did that a little bit with the Tony Stark with the Captain America in the UK.
But that was in the 40s.
That was the 39 one. That was New York.
Yeah.
This is 1893. This is Chicago.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's the time period they're going to, is because that we know they're going to it, and it would be essentially 130 years before the current MCU timeline for the most part. So a nice even number.
1602. No, sorry. Go ahead.
And I think the wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff is that the Renslayer that's also at that World's Fair in Chicago is where she went looking for He Who Remains. And she knew from her data that he existed in that time period. That was his start, because he sees we see the machine that interacts all the different raveled timelines into one machine. So they have to get him to be able to fix what's still broken that OB is so concerned about. So they knew this is where the start of it was before he became He Who Remains. And that's why eventually we'll get him in the TVA, is we get Victor Timely in the TVA to fix this. So this is them going to recruit him, and Renslayer happens to be there by circumstance without their knowledge.
Ooh.
I do agree with you. I think Renslayer is the key to finding a Kang variant.
Yeah.
Here's the fly in the ointment. I don't think it's Kang's temporal aura they need. I don't think it's He Who Remains temporal aura they need anymore. I think it's Sylvie's. Because Sylvie killed him. She's got her little temp pad weird thing that he had. And so I think that it may have changed.
You're kind of like pulling the Harry Potter wand thing.
Yeah, I think that.
Or like the wand is no longer that wizard's wand after he's been defeated. Kind of thing.
Because the only she hasn't really gained any benefits that we've seen except that temp pad. You know, she's not all knowing, and granted, it does seem like maybe Loki got some of it and she got some of it since they're the same person, like a variant thing, like a weird thing like that. But I honestly, I think maybe that's it. I think Sylvie is the key, and she doesn't want to go back to the TVA. So I think that's it. I think they're going to go through this whole like Victor Timely thing, meet Mr. Griffin and all that, and then they'll find out, oh, well, we just needed to get Sylvie all along.
Well, I agree. I think they have to test out the Victor Timely theory first and realize it's wrong. Then we will get Sylvie. So this is the episode that gets to that point. Then the penultimate will be realizing they have to get Sylvie.
Right. Yeah.
So what do you give it? Yellow?
No, I'm giving this. This is like Sacred Timeline. I mean, you convinced me.
I mean.
If you had just put that she sang, I would like the 120% because I think she is going to sing. She's a really good singer, the actress is, and she was in Hamilton. So, like, I think they're going to try and get her singing.
That's her.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm late to the show on that kind of stuff. I give it a green as well.
Right, since it is a significantly better version of mine, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. It is green all the way.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right.
All Sacred Timeline.
Yeah.
Maybe we got Graveyard out of the graveyard, and he's like really fighting for this one.
Maybe.
He's coming out of the ground.
He's like, I can do this.
I came back from the dead again for the 20th time. So you may be immortal. I die and then come back. Just worse every time.
You're what? John Barrowman's character from Doctor Who, Captain Jack.
Yes. Right. All right.
Jack Harkness.
Yeah.
We got to move on because we got lots to cover here.
We do.
Next up, we have Daredevil rebooted again.
Oh no!
Did you read the article, anyone? Fray, you hadn't have read it.
Okay, yeah, I did. Thank you. I actually did. I actually had heard about it before you mentioned it.
So for anyone that doesn't know, is the idea was that Daredevil was going to be a procedural law firm thing. Like they said, She-Hulk was supposed to be. That wasn't in the slightest. And people go, okay, that sucks. We're just going to fire all the writers. We're going to take very little episodes. They filmed the first half and they're redoing it again. They got rid of the directors and the writers after filming half the show because they're trying to make it more action oriented to match the MCU on Netflix.
I did read one article about it, and I did find it kind of interesting. So they had said that for a while now, the shows have been run by the film executives, and now they're going to be actually hiring showrunners specifically for the show. In my head, all I can think about is how tired I am of reboots of things. I just want to see fresh stuff. Like, there's so many other characters you could probably give a show to that could do really well. I'm sorry, I was just giggling at the chat. But yeah, I'm kind of at the like, okay, whatever. It's not like I could do anything about it anyway. But I'll probably watch just to keep up to date and stuff. But I'm not necessarily excited about it. Charlie Cox, I love you. I do. But I'm not necessarily excited to see something rebooted again. And will he be like the Daredevil we saw in She-Hulk, which felt very lighthearted in comparison, of course, to the Netflix.
Yeah. Just a smidge. Just a smidge.
Marginally.
Yeah, like in the Netflix's one where Vincent D'Onofrio took out his right-hand man with a car door. I was like, and then seeing this Daredevil, I was like, I went from face to what? Like, he was fine. I enjoyed it. It was cute and all, but now I'm kind of like, where are they taking this now? So
right.
I'm concerned about where it's going. If it turns out great, I am happy. I'm completely happy to be wrong on that. I'm just so tired of the reboots, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shadu, what do you think about this? Do you think it'll be for the better or for the worse?
I feel like we need to stop pretending like the MCU can only be this action oriented. It's gotta start one way and then go to, we gotta have a big fight in the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we need to get away from that because it's good and it's a format and it works, but it's just everything feels the same at that point, really.
Right.
So I didn't like it with Secret Invasion. I don't think this is the way to go, but I will happily be surprised. So we'll see if
because the rumors were that he didn't even suit up as Daredevil until episode 4.
Right, and see that'd be great. That sounds great. That sounds good.
So you want some hot law firm action and courtroom drama.
And I feel like we missed that with She-Hulk. As great as She-Hulk was,
mm-hmm.
It's still.
It would
I think
be
we
nice to
really
see some
that.
It'd be nice to see some intense courtroom
just
words and atmosphere, tensity, and not just action.
Right.
Do you want someone to scream, "You can't handle the truth"?
More like
kinds.
I want to feel like a tangible intensity, even in my own room while I'm watching it, because then that's good writing.
There are different kinds of action and
Aaron
drama.
Sorkin to write this. Aaron Sorkin.
You
Aaron
don't
Sorkin
need
writes
to.
It would be good.
It's one of those things where in film class, I was I was taught you don't lean on violence, don't lean on, all of these things. So I feel like they need to stop leaning on, we gotta have a fight or whatever. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's
so Fray, what do you think? What do you think about our poor Stardust?
Okay, so I have thoughts. I do.
You do?
I know, right? It's so surprising. Okay. My thoughts are, I wanted more Daredevil. I thought the Netflix show was great. I thought the tone of it was great for Daredevil. I thought the way he just got beat up all the time. I absolutely think that if they want to continue that, I'm absolutely fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to do something that's hey, this is part of the multiverse, he's a little different, all this stuff did happen to him, he's moved past it. I can see that idea as well. I don't know if it should be a lawyer. I think there should be a balance. It should be a balance of lawyer Daredevil, because that's the thing that most people get wrong when they adapt superhero stories. You have to have someone who can do both.
Mm-hmm.
They need to do the alias and they need to do the hero role. They have to be able to do both. You have to show it for them to be able to do it. So I would like a more balancing, and maybe that's why they did it. I think what happened was because of the WGA contract that they just signed, it says they have to have showrunners and a writer's room and all of that. And Daredevil didn't have that. So I think they would have done it anyway. I think they just went full ham on it and was just we're just firing everybody. We're just starting from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, they have enough money behind them that they can do something like that. And then we'll get weird leaked versions of the original stuff that they did, and everyone will be happy and then mad and then happy and then mad. And Madison will show up and then I'll be happy. But yeah, no, I feel like this have to do with right. First it was scary, and then it was fun, and then it was scary,
and then there was a goat.
Poor Matt is the John Wick of Marvel, beat up so much.
He really does.
And somehow doesn't
not
die.
As much as Punisher, but he's up there.
Here's a question I have, because does Daredevil ever have any supernatural sci-fi-ish stuff like a lot of the Marvel things do? Does that ever interact with Daredevil much?
he's kind of more. He's what
Great,
Spider-Man really should have. Like, he's Spider-Man grown up is kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, he's like, it feels like he's more based in reality kind of a feeling.
He's a ground hero.
Yeah, he's an on the ground, like boots on the ground kind of hero. He's not, and he pretty much stays in Hell's Kitchen. I think the only time he gets out of Hell's Kitchen, Chris, we're gonna have a fight. But I still love you.
It's not for this stream, though.
Yeah, for the stream. Sorry, that was like, those are fighting words. I'm sorry. But I just think that he's the type of person that he wouldn't get involved unless it was something that was so like impacted things so much. He's more the I'm gonna save the people in my area of the world than going other places.
Like the responsibility of Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like, and I think that's why he was like happy-go-lucky Matt in LA, because he was like, I'm on vacation. Like, you know, like, and so he's like, I can be happy because I'm on vacation. I'm not in Hell's Kitchen. I don't have the fate of the world. And, you know, and then he hooks up with She-Hulk and he's like, well, now I kind of have to be a hero again. But you know what? I'm still on vacation. So and I think that may be it. You know, it's like when you're on vacation, you do things that you don't do when you're not on vacation. I did not take down a small government or anything while I was on vacation once. Okay.
I gotta tell you about that one. I'm just kidding.
But so I'm thinking that's how I'm rationalizing the Matt we got in She-Hulk versus the Matt we'll get in Daredevil. I think whatever we do, they get the right showrunners. The showrunners are going to have more control over what happens. I think we'll see less last-minute changes than we had before. I think overall it will be a good thing for the television side of the MCU. And I think that I think we're going to get a better quality. This is going to be the experiment, though. This is going to be the experiment because this is going to be the first one that they're really doing it on. Everything else has already been filmed, and you know, but now you have a showrunner. The showrunner's going to be like, we don't have any more story to tell. We're out. Like, you know, and I think that's good because I think it should be story driven. Whoa.
Oh.
Hello.
The
she got so excited she just phased out of the universe.
I can't take it anymore. No.
But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts. That was what I was like, okay, I could see this as a horrible thing, but I'm like, no, it's not. Because first of all, they're taking the time that they need, which is something that the MCU had, like the fans of the MCU has said that, no, they're just rushing all this stuff out and we're not getting a good product. They're taking the time that they need. They've got showrunners now for the show, so it will be focused on the stories that they're telling, and they're not just going to randomly put crap in that, oh wait, we got this movie coming up, let's put this in there, let's put this Easter egg in there, you guys have to reshoot this. You know, I just see it as less chaotic and the product getting better. So I think the first season of Daredevil might get a little rough, but we got to stay into the second season and it'll be good. And if they get some of the Netflix guys, then I think more the better, because they had a great take on Daredevil and the Defenders and all of that. So
down and dirty that we needed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think what to go off of what Fray was saying is I think they needed the 4 episodes of the courtroom drama to show that he either survived the blip or didn't survive the blip, one of the way, and he went back just to being a lawyer because people needed lawyers. And then him starting to represent superheroes instead because of the cords that are still there, and people will get off that shouldn't be there. So he would essentially do a nicer version of Dexter, where people will escape the law system, and he realizes that they might have superpowers and that he has to step in and actually take care of them. So maybe that's why it would have taken 4 episodes to get him into the Daredevil suit, is because he put that life behind him, because really the world, except for the Flag Smashers, kind of became less chaotic and less superheroes out there or super villains. Therefore, he was able to hang up his horns, if you will, and focus on being a lawyer instead.
I like that. That was good. I appreciated that. That was good.
So, but speaking of things that have been rebooted, we have talked once again about the Gunnverse and the JL, Justice League, every person being rebooted. I'll save myself for last, being the biggest DC fan, but I want to hear Shadoo's opinions on the recast of Justice League.
Okay. I mean, it's not... The only two people I am sad about are Gal Gadot as Diana, obviously, for obvious reasons.
I did not make him say that.
No, she didn't. I
came
do
up with that on his
legitimately really love Gal Gadot's portrayal of Diana Prince Wonder Woman.
Blink 180 times if you're being forced to say it.
But not 182.
All right. So, and I'm kind of mad about Jason Momoa. I do think there are probably better Aquamans. I just really like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I think it is hilarious.
Fair.
So, those are the two I'm mad about. Otherwise, I'm good. I mean, Ben Affleck was okay as Batman. He was okay. I mean, obviously very problematic with Ezra Miller, so I get that. Very, I don't know. I mean, Henry Cavill wasn't bad as Superman. It's just, it's not. Yeah, you need different people. I agree with this. I think it's a little presumptuous to like try to just get everybody out, but I understand it. I get it.
So Shadoo approved?
I approve. I'm good. Yeah.
Mezzo, what do you think?
You know, it's interesting because there's two perspectives on it from my head. It felt like they knew they didn't get off to the best start, and so they just want to wipe the slate clean and start over. Or it's like when one child in your classroom acts up, but you don't want to single them out, so you make a general message to everybody. And so like Ezra and the way they acted and everything that went on with them, and that's why the Flash maybe didn't do as well as it could have. And instead of pointing them out single-handedly, like they're gonna just wipe everybody out. And so that's kind of like my two perspectives. It's like, okay, wipe the slate clean and try to start better. No one's gonna forget your previous movies, guys. So right. or they're like hoping that it's like everyone's gonna forget about what happened with Ezra and their issues and stuff. But those are just the two perspectives I have. I'm kind of indifferent because I don't necessarily feel attached to anyone but Gal Gadot. I really enjoyed her as Diana. I thought she was great. I love Henry Cavill. I've loved him since Count of Monte Cristo, the cute little kid he was. He's like a 16-year-old. But I'm not like, I know I'll see him in other things, so I'm not like, it's like we're not going to see him again, kind of thing. I'm more worried about seeing him acting rather than what specific role he's in. Although right. The Witcher. Anyway. I'm
sorry. What? Sorry.
He was The Witcher, and he had to part ways with it. And I am sad to see him leave that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm very okay.
He did that role was a special thing.
I wasn't
for him
sure if
too,
it was something negative or not. Okay.
No, just the fact that he's not there now. I hope Liam does well, and I haven't watched any of it. So
yeah, no, he's amazing as Geralt.
Anyway, Geralt Rivera, yes.
Yeah.
His growling that he does. Anyway, it kind of reminds me of Misha Collins doing casts where he has to talk like so much lower than his actual register.
Yeah, you hear him talking. He's like, "Hi,
my feeling."
Misha Collins.
Yeah, the meta episode where they go into the real world. Best. Okay, that's my favorite ever. Anyway, so moving on. I'm kind of indifferent towards it. That's all.
Okay.
Kind of like, okay.
So I'll go. I know Fray probably has the most thoughts of this. Being the biggest DC fan in the world, as everyone knows. I don't care, honestly. As long as we don't see Martha and Thomas Wayne die for the 50th time. We don't need origin stories for these characters. We know the Justice League characters, quite honestly. We don't need origin stories anymore. we can have separate films, and I think they should do separate films leading up to
Yeah.
a Justice League the same way they do Avengers. Like I said, don't need origins. That being said, let's all agree that Jason Momoa can stop being Aquaman and be Lobo instead.
Yep, I would
Yeah.
support it if he's Lobo. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm okay with new casts of characters because you don't need the people to play the character for 50 years. And let the character live on with someone else that can do a great job. That's my take on it. Fray?
Okay. Well, hi. So I'm not going to say too much about it because I thought this was coming. I saw it. I knew that we.
Well, you're tight with James Gunn. Anyway.
No, I mean, no.
The good buddies.
No, I mean,
Gun
James,
buds.
if you want to be, I'll be your friend.
I mean, like if you wanna.
Jennifer Holland, if you want to be friends, call me, girl. All right, so
Henry Cavill, if you want a game together, give me a call.
Right.
Exactly. Same here.
I'm open to whatever. All right. So my take on it is I feel like we need that. I do think that we're going that James Gunn and Peter Safran's vision is different than where they were going. And so I do feel like since he's going in a different direction, he wants to go in that direction with new actors. Because if he didn't, everything he did with those actors would be compared to something that he didn't do with those actors. So it's lessening the comparison. I mean, he's going to be compared either way because there's some, Snyder has, some fans. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But I do feel like, I think that it's a good fresh start. And if they can market it that way, hey, this is the new 52. This is the new DC. They could totally do that. Please don't do the new 52 though. Nope. But you gotta lean into that.
You gotta build up for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not let's just start there. No, it's if you want to know the lore, you really have to. But I do see that they could do this as it's like a new start. It was just announced at NYCC that the Elseworlds series is coming back in the comics. Ooh. And they've already talked about Elseworlds in the movies. I feel like the movies and the comics are going to be married more. Like we're going to see more references to comic arcs so that you can go get them than we had in the past. It was just like, these are the characters you love and you've known since you were a child. We're going to do a new thing, And so I think he's not trying to reinvent the wheel. I think he's trying to reinvent the cross promotion with comics and movies. And it's because he's a James Gunn is a huge comic book fan. He wouldn't know about the Authority if he didn't do his research. Right. That's all I'm saying. I mean, because that is not something that you can ask 100 comic book fans that may or may not have read everything like I have, that, who their top 10 groups would be, and you might get Authority in the top 10, but you probably won't. So it's like, and it's not because they're not good, it's just because they're not known. And I think that's part of it. It's that I'm really excited about it, and everything, all the announcements that have come out have totally been in line with what I thought was going to happen. So I'm not surprised by this at all. I am going to miss Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I do think that if they do a third movie, which they could make it in Elseworlds and have Gal Gadot in it, and it would be fine. And then you get Gal Gadot, and she gets her third movie and her, closure with the character, and we get another one because they're not planning on doing Wonder Woman in the first chapter. They're doing the Amazon's TV series, but they're not doing Wonder. So it feels like they're going to do it as if we as the audience are finding out about these characters as the world is. Superman Legacy isn't going to be about Superman's origins. It's going to be about him being there for a bit. So we will have known Superman. And you can have a Superman shirt. I guarantee you, everybody knows what that is. They know it's recognizable. So someone's gonna, everyone's gonna recognize it.
Right.
Batman, it's not gonna be, hey, I'm the new Batman and I'm so young and I don't know what I'm doing. It's gonna be a Batman that's been around for a bit and has a sidekick. And I think that's a place that hasn't been explored. And I think that needs to be. So all the decisions that are being made are story driven. And that's how I think DC can win. And win is it's silly because nobody's winning, but like how they can bring DC back from the edge.
Yeah.
And
how they can be better.
Make DC great again is what you're saying.
Make DC great again. No. Make DC.
No.
DC
that's what Snyder did, and it did not work. So
yeah,
that's
what I want, and I just everything I feel it. I feel it in my bones. I'm like, nope, he's the right person at the right time to do this. And every time he mentions a comic, hey, this is what this movie's going to be about. This is what this show is going to be about. Sales for that book have skyrocketed.
Yep.
So he's doing what he needs to do, and that's make money for the company. And now he's just got to put his money where his mouth is and make good content. And I know fans will respond. I just know it. They've already responded. And him getting haters and then being vocal, that means he's doing something right.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about it. Like when people were cranky about Kevin Feige and some stuff at the beginning. I was like, he's doing something right. He's got haters now. And now everybody loves him. And I'm like, uh-oh, he's not doing stuff right. You don't have haters no more. So, and now haters are coming back and like, oh, maybe we're doing some stuff right. So, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this, to seeing how it all unfolds.
Yeah. All right. We got two.
I like how we have two opposite spectrums where Graveyard and I are like, eh.
All right,
I'm a huge DC fan, so you guys know I want them to succeed,
we know.
So
I just want my Green Lantern series, okay? That's all I want.
All right, we got two quick topics here before we get to the Nerd Out segment. PS5 Slim. For anyone who doesn't know, PS5 Slim is what PlayStation does about 3 years after a console comes out. They make it slimmer, they make it sleeker, they make it worse. So anyone has absolutely, and this is all my 2 cents here. They do this right before they do about a year after this, or 2 years after this, they will do the Pro version of the system, which is more powerful. This Slim version isn't any more powerful; it's just smaller. And if you look at any past PlayStation game systems, when they make Slims, they overheat a lot because how they make it slimmer is there's less space between the components. It overheats. They get rid of the heat shield, so it becomes lessened, and therefore all the thermal paste that ties everything together, the CPUs, heat up, wear off, and you have to get replaced. So I'm not excited for this at all. And the way they're doing this also is to make it slimmer is they're going to have an external Blu-ray drive. So you have to use up one of your limited USB slots to be able to play games on top of this. So Slims are never good at all on this. Should do your gamer too, right? Do you have any thoughts on this?
I am not a PlayStation gamer, so
no,
I'm not. I have become mostly a PC person, really. I mean, I have an Xbox too, but yeah.
But as a PC gamer, the smaller the laptop.
Oh yeah, the smaller the is yeah. It's not good. No, this is
right, and they're releasing it for the same price. It's not cheaper. It's not more powerful. It's just slimmer.
But it also feels like, oh look, it's slimmer. Oh look, it's gonna break down more. Oh, what a fortuitous outcome. Oh great, people will buy more. It seems yeah.
Mezzo, what do you think?
I could not give any less crap about the size of my PlayStation. Like, their only reason to make it slimmer is so it fits in your room a little better. Like, what the heck? I would rather have better functioning capability than have it look slimmer. I already have a PS5. I am perfectly happy. I don't need one that's smaller. I know for those of you who aren't gamers or not like or are not Sony people, if you do want to keep up with gaming, I have a great channel that gives you like a 5-minute gaming news every weekday. I could forward that to you if you just want, because it's really quick. So it's like 5 to 6 minutes of information about every day's news. Anyway, that's how I learned about the Slim like being coming out, was watching this channel. And I'm kind of with Graveyard, like, what the why are you lessening the quality of something? And I can't remember, does it cost more or less?
Same price.
Same price. Why? Like, what the heck?
Why make it?
Right.
Well, it's the same price. Then you can spend an additional $70 for the drive.
Yeah, because if you want the actual physical drive to play your physical games on, I think it's stupid. Sorry, so I love my Sony camera. I love my Sony PS5. I just think all of it is a money grab for those who want a sleeker looking thing,
exactly
slimmer thing. Because Slim's the thing, right? Nah, honey, I like it big and proud. Not just my PlayStation.
Fray, I know you're the ultimate gamer here. What do you think of
PS size does not matter.
Hey, I got a PS. I have a PS4 and 2 Xboxes. Actually, no, 2 Xbox Ones, an Xbox 360. So, I got me some consoles, people. Well, I mean, here's why I think they did the Slim. Because nobody's really buying cigarettes anymore, and Virginia needed to have a new outlet. That's why. Virginia Slims, PS5 Slim. That's what I'm saying. No, I don't. What? It doesn't matter. I don't care if. Here's the thing.
See you, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris. I think. I couldn't care less if something is what color something is. I couldn't care less how big it is, how small. Well, I shouldn't say that. There are some places where size does matter. In gaming consoles, it's not one of them. Like, I don't want like a ginormous refrigerator in a place that the fridge is not going to fit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm just like, I don't. Yeah. And if it's the same price and but then you can only play on like games that you're like are on your cloud or whatever, that's silly, because then you have to buy that. Because I like putting the disc in my Xbox and playing, I do like that. I do have some games that I've downloaded, but it's games I've played before that I'd already had the disc and put it in. So I think that it's just a money grab, and Sony is really good at that. I do love their products. I have several Sony televisions. I'm not, I used to have a lot of Sony computers and stuff. Like had it all. Love the Sony, but this is a money grab. This is clearly a money grab. It's coming out right before Christmas, so they're hoping people that the PS5, the original PS5s are going to sell out and people are going to buy the Slim so that they can get that extra $70 for the hard drive that they'll need to play the games that they want to play on it that they already have. So.
Right. Well, I think this is kind of going into the announcement that Best Buy is getting rid of physical media in 2024. So
all physical media, like all movies and games and stuff.
Yeah,
that's so weird. So I worked there for about 3 months. Like for holiday season, and literally half their store is physical media. So
well, I mean,
not anymore. I haven't been inside of the Best Buy. All I do is walk in and grab a cord from like the order online area and leave.
Yeah, well, this is feeding into what companies want, because then they don't. If you get rid of the gray market after selling thing of physical media, so GameStop goes away. And stuff like that. So this is a way developers are able to get all their money, and they set the price no matter what.
And stores have to, if that's part of what they sell, right? Like Best Buy, they have to adapt to what
they'll just have digital vouchers for the games instead of rows of stuff. They'll just have digital vouchers for the game.
You might will they get like a case with a voucher on the inside, just so you have a decorative case, or is it just like, here's your voucher?
Just a voucher.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. Too much money spent on making these plastic cases.
So much. You can have one row of nothing but vouchers and have thousands of games really easily.
Like, because I remember when Sims switched to digital, you could buy a case with a code in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that costs money, and it doesn't cost anything to do it really digitally anymore. That's way more cost effective.
I suppose it's good developers would be getting more of the share and everything, but still, it still just kind of takes away some of that.
Yeah.
That joy.
I like, but see, and I'm one of those that I have like actual physical media. So like I have Firefly on DVD. Like I have, like, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, and so I was thinking about, I was like, there's some games that I want to have, you know, like physically. Yeah. And so it's just we're just now it's just, you're going to have to order it online and have it shipped to you. And, you know, it's just, well.
All right. But speaking of things that are scary.
Oh, jeez.
Deep Fear. For anyone who hasn't watched it, the link to the trailer is in the description below. I also tried out Gradient to go as you went deeper into the water. So Deep Fear is essentially a more serious version of Cocaine Bear, but it's Cocaine Shark, and this is based on a true story.
Oh my god!
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
Nope.
Fake news. That's your thought. Are you interested to see this in the slightest, Fray?
Look, I watched Meg 1.
I
watched the Meg. I feel like I've seen all of the shark movies now, and I don't need to see anymore. I'm good. I saw Jaws 1, Jaws 2, and Jaws 3, and the Meg. I'm good on sharks.
Okay.
Thanks, though.
Yeah. That's fair.
Honestly, we had this conversation before. I was like, I don't believe this story, first of all, because a shark's just going to shark. And this shark is doing exactly the same things that it would do, whether it was on cocaine or not. And also, I'm not really sure about the absorption rate in your bloodstream with cocaine with warm-blooded mammals versus cold-blooded fish. So I'm just talking science here, people. They may have said that that's what caused the shark to be all crazy, but I think shark was crazy. Sharks be crazy.
Sharks be crazy.
Okay.
You can quote me on that.
Should do.
Did
you watch the trailer?
No, I have not yet. I feel like a Cocaine Bear was a parody of itself intentionally. I feel like they're trying to just like capture a market that is not there at this point. I don't know if there is a market for cocaine filled animals just being chaotic.
Oh, there is. So you're not gonna watch it? Not gonna watch it then? It's on your pass.
Yeah.
Okay. Mezzo.
You know, it just looks like a movie I laugh at. It's nothing that I'm going to be like, I know it's more serious than Cocaine Bear, but there's horror movies that I've watched that are serious and I'll like giggle. But that's part of just when you grow up watching horror stuff, even though I haven't seen a lot of the classics, I grew up a lot just watching horror in general. You just learn to like giggle at things. So like sometimes horror I think of as comedy in my eyes. Its own version of comedy. But I'll see it probably. Like I didn't get to see Cocaine Bear, but sometimes for us, we only get to see a movie usually once a week, and it depends on what's out and what takes precedence. And we just haven't had a chance to actually watch it now. But I can't remember what said the release date was, but we'll probably see it, whether it be in theaters or at home. I'm not certain. But yeah, I mean, it just looked like people being stupid for money is all it was. And there's so many instances of it happening and nobody listens. I say one. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you all know me. I love bad movies. This is right.
Better have an unhappy ending.
As soon as I finished the trailer, I was like, he is gonna not only see this movie, we may have a shark on cocaine tattoo coming up. Like, I'm just like, this is totally in your wheelhouse of movies. I was like, yep. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, the idea is sharks aren't as dangerous as most people say. There's only 100 shark attacks a year, and we kill millions of them.
But there's
John's just made everybody afraid of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, made everybody afraid. That's all.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, I think this, like I said, this did happen. There was a boat that sank with cocaine on it, and that part is true. So they may be stretching everything else, but it's about time that we don't have another Sharknado, that we don't have something like this, because we do have stuff like, the Shallows, where people are surfers and get attacked by sharks. So I think we need to take sharks movies more seriously, because let's face it, we've had Shark of the Corn, where it's children of the corn, but sharks. We've had Sand Shark, where it's a shark that lives in the sand. We have Space Shark. We have literally sharks with laser beams on top of their freaking heads.
What about Land Shark?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much. There's even an Amityville shark. So the Amityville horror, but with a shark. So I think we need to get back to more serious movies. I hope this is kind of one of them, because it's not as silly looking as Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear was meant to be very comedic. This is taking stuff more seriously. And, you talk about Jaws. I personally love the movie Deep Blue Sea, because...
I've seen that one too. Oh my God.
Yes, if you want to see a really smart man played by Samuel L. Jackson get killed in the most stupid way possible, go see that. So I'm excited for this. We are going to be doing a shark episode for this movie coming out for the podcast. So I'm excited.
The stupidest death by a shark ever. I agree.
Oh yeah. But yeah,
I must have had some sort of weird shark film fetish at some point, because I feel like I've seen all of them.
If sharks,
wasn't there another one that was sharky, real shark related? That anyway, never mind.
There's probably 200 shark movies that came out in the past 20 years. And Roger Corman was a big nefarious person for Sharktopus versus Shark Hurricane. Sharktopus is a real movie.
Oh my God.
So
Sharknado.
Yes. So I mean, if we weren't infatuated with sharks, we wouldn't have Shark Week for the past 20 years either, though. So we still like sharks. But
yeah, I like sharks. They're cool.
Without further ado, we have ourselves another Mezzo's Musings.
Well, hello everyone. Yes, I typed my musings up again. One reason I was up until 1 a.m. to make sure I got it the way I wanted it. So it's not extremely long, but hey, a new twist on the creatures of folklore throughout time and covering multiple cultures have always captivated the masses. Vampires being reincarnated from ghastly and scary creatures to sparkling, handsome high school kids. Werewolves and wizarding schools to secret lives amongst modern day settings, like in the movie Underworld. One TV show has taken these creatures and reinvented their stories to fit amongst the type of world we currently live in. In the TV show Grimm, we follow Portland detective Nick Burkhart, where he learns he is a Grimm, descended from a long line of warriors charged with protecting humanity from magical creatures known as Vessin, who are part animal and part human. So there's an animal within them. He discovers a whole world that he never knew about, that is just under the nose of society. This revelation brings down a big uproar into his life. I mean, if that happened to you, wouldn't it? And it turns it upside down. Through 6 action-packed seasons, you follow Nick and his girlfriend Juliet and more new friends along the way. Grimms are seen as the boogeymen of the Vestin, so they're very fearful of them. But that in Vestin, yes, and again, is the term they use for the people who have an animal within them. But you can see how Nick changes their world in that sense and gain a different, the ones he comes across often gain a different understanding of how it all could be. So it's it's kind of hard to explain when it comes to something we might relate more, but he's a different kind of Grimm, so to speak. And I think part of it is not being raised and knowing anything about Vestin and Grimm his entire life. This character is in his 30s, I think, late 20s, early 30s, I think. Played by David Giuntoli. For those who don't know, I think he was actually a reality TV star originally. And I really enjoyed him and I didn't know that previously before watching the show. And I actually think that helped me not have a biased judgment against him in the first place. Right. And the actress Bitsy Tulloch, who plays his girlfriend, who's actually Lois right now on the current Superman TV show. They're married in real life and have a kid and stuff now. They got together on that show. Anyway, moving on from that. You can watch Grimm on Prime Video, Peacock with subscriptions. You can also watch it on CWTV.com for free, all 6 seasons in all those places. It's a show you don't want to miss out because it's a lot of fun. The characters have great chemistry. The actors are like still really good friends. 2 of them have a podcast together still. This show was, you know how dated it is when you look and you see like one of the original iPhones they're holding? Like you see like that slide to answer, that silver like slide to answer button at the thing at the bottom. It dates in that sense, but you know it's like what, 10 years ago, a little bit more, 10 to 15 years ago that it was aired, but I can't remember the exact dates, but it's 6 seasons. It's great. It's fun. It can definitely be spooky at times and a little bit gory in some moments. And some moments, and it's one of those shows that you're like, what the heck? In like some seasons, like, and the story from like where the show begins, like where the characters are, where they begin and where they end up, is definitely interesting. Because like if you didn't know the story in between, you're like, how the heck did that happen? Watch the show. It's a lot of fun. The other actors are great. You got Bree Turner, who plays a character that's not introduced directly right away. Silas Weir. I love him the most. He plays, oh my gosh, I just blanked on his name. Don't tell me. Monroe. He plays Monroe. I knew it started with an M. He is my favorite of all people ever, like in that show. I just adore him. And there's so many others. Just so many people that are really good casting, really great together. And that's my nerd out, is just go watch Grimm. It's fun. And if you've already seen it, watch it again, because I've seen it 3 times all the way through. Just because I really enjoy the cast, and you can see like that they're good buds just through their acting, because they work so well together. Like, I mean, it's hard to explain when you have a cast that meshes well together and they know each other's cues and acting and stuff. It's just the chemistry goes boom. And the family they made on set was like the family offset. They're all still good buds and stuff. So,
yes,
Aww.
and Alexi, whatever Price from Buffy. Alison Hagen.
Alexis.
Alexis Demisoff.
Yeah, he's in it. Yes.
Yeah, he's in it. He's not in every season. He does make like he has a character arc in one season. I was so sad when his character was no longer on the show, because I do love Alexis Demisoff very much. I do enjoy him as Wesley. Yeah, Wesley
Wyndham
Price. I have to say the whole thing. Yeah, and I kind of like joking. Did you know he was in an Avengers movie? Did you know that at all? Okay.
I did, actually.
We don't see him very long. You barely notice him unless you know. Once you know, you're like, oh, I can see it, the way his mouth moves, because I watched Buffy and Angel so much.
He
anyway,
disguises his voice so well. He
does.
The alien, like the alien.
Talking to Thanos, like
Thanos,
at the very beginning of the Avengers movies. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so go watch Grimm. That's it. Yeah. Have fun. Enjoy yourself, and you're welcome.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, Mezzo, for that Grimm fairy tale.
Thank you, Andrew.
I almost like brought up fairy tales, like, but the thing is this show has nothing specifically to do with like Cinderella or anything like that. It's not that type of Grimm. So those don't connect.
It's not like a Once Upon a Time situation.
No,
it's
not
more
at all.
of a
It's like it's like I said at the beginning, it's creatures throughout cultures and time. Like you'll have one episode that's about this Japanese ghost that's actually a creature vestin or something like that has been portrayed as a ghost before. So
it's kind of an interesting fantasy
so it
concept.
sounds kind of like Buffy, if Buffy and Supernatural had a baby.
And there's a detective involved.
Right.
And Dresden.
Well, I mean, there's
Dresden, right?
Oh, Harry Dresden. I never saw that the hopeful approach to the TV series they had, because I hadn't even read the books before that.
Oh, the Dresden Files.
So there's like a whole novel. It's like 12 more books. Like I've read and listened, like because I did one or the other to all of them. And short stories. And I love James Butcher is a great writer. So if you haven't read those, maybe that'll be the next Dresden series.
All right. Well,
That was awesome. Thanks.
No, it was
thank
great.
you, Mezzo.
You're welcome.
Well,
Thanks,
we
Mezzo.
are at the end of the show, believe it or not. All our glorious viewers. So why don't we go to our pluggables? We'll start with you, Miss Mezzo.
Ooh.
Oh, hi, I'm Mezzo, director, like writer, or not writer, what the heck, director, editor, and host on Kyber Cave Productions. I also have my own Twitch that I just restarted. If you'd like to check those out, you can. I'm going to put them in the description, in the chat in a moment. You can also keep up with me on social media with Twitter and Instagram. So all of those are now going to be in the chat in just a split second. So there you go. That's it.
All right. That's it.
Watch me scream playing Phasmo.
Yes. Should do.
All right. I am SHGU Studios here on YouTube and on Instagram. I do short films, music, and other nerdy stuff. I am also on Fray's channel. We have a series called Classified, where we take your favorite pop culture characters and place them into their respective D&D classes. We also have a companion series called Journal Classes, where we go through each of the D&D classes and their respective subclasses. We have a new episode of Classified that came out yesterday, and it is on John Carpenter's The Thing. We're doing horror movies for October. I'm also in the Distance Learning Sphere, as you can see. I'm on download on Tuesdays, The Build on Thursdays, and the show you're watching right now, Saturday Morning Nerd Out on Kyber Cave.
Thank you very much. You do. Fray.
Hi, I'm Fray, and he kind of said everything about the channel.
Sorry.
Corgi videos. There are Corgi shorts on.
Yes, there are also
want to see our
Corgi
dogs. And yeah, I've taken the whole shorts and video concept and totally separated them. Shorts have nothing to do with what's on the channel. All right, and I am also on Distance Nerding's radar. I don't know. Anyway,
Sphere?
Sphere,
but
first. I do the download on Tuesdays with them. I'm here on Saturdays for the Saturday Morning Nerd Out. I am the game master here. So there is that. I also have my own channel, Fray Girl, where Stu and I do a lot of fun things. And you can find me pretty much anywhere at either at Fray Girl or at Fray Comics. So there you go. I'm trying to, condense.
Thank you very much, Fray. I'm Graveyard. You've been watching Saturday Morning Nerd Out. You can find me on all social media at Pod Out at Night, where I am the co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night Mostly podcast. Also, make sure to check out our YouTube channel as well, which is Pod Out at Night, where we have a new show starting called Conversations in the Void, where we talk to anyone and everyone in the horror community. So make sure to check that out. And I'll be posting relatively soon what our subscriber limits and rewards will be when we get to that point. So make sure to check that out. On top of that, you can find me on Distance Learning, harassing Phil every Monday when he plays video games. You can find me doing spoopy brackets this month on the Build on Thursdays and brackets overall, while we interview really great people over at Distance Learning. You can find me here 2 to 3, maybe 4 days a week over here at Kyber Cave Productions. We are doing a all spooky month gaming channel, except we will have a double header of Beer in the Chair next week, where Friday night we'll be doing a spooky game. And the following morning, before the Nerd Out, we will be playing the new Mario Wonder live. So make sure to check that out, everything we do. And thank you all cavers, dwellers, and splunkers for joining us. Make sure to join our Discord. You can follow our games when we do them live, and you can vote with us and who you think is right. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because every 100 sabers we give away a lightsaber. Every 500 we give out a NeoPixel saber. We just gave one, I believe, last Sunday. Did we not, Mezzo?
We did. And someone in London won it.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was actually somebody from, because last Sunday was Our Ladies of Lightsaber Night, and one of them is actually located in the UK. She was up till after 4 a.m. Oh my gosh, Fray, that scared me, because I was like looking at the camera to look at the viewers, and then I looked down and I'm like, oh, okay. So, and one of her teammates, in a sense, of the schoolmates, was on watching, and they won.
Oh, that's so
nice.
cool.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
Because then then their friend can see what they won. It's like that's just neat.
Yeah.
It's just so neat. I love when stuff like that happens.
Yes. So speaking of Kyber Cave, go to kybercave.com. Pick yourself up a lightsaber if you can't win one on every subscription. You can get yourself some great lightsabers. You can check out saberfont.com/fours. Get our Husbeard's Fours fonts. More fonts coming soon. Stuff in the works there. And if you want to support this channel, you can go to kcpmerch.com. Pick yourself up your favorite merch from your favorite show. We are working on a Saturday Morning Nerd Out shirt, I hope.
Ooh.
New merch coming soon.
So you can get all of that favorite stuff. And on top of getting a lightsaber for every 500 subscribers, on top of buying a lightsaber, you can support us by join our Patreon for just as little as $1 a month. You can help support our channel. And the higher tier subscription you have in Patreon, we give away, I believe, a lightsaber every quarter.
Oh, you mean for Patreons every May when
May 4th yes.
comes up. But you have to be a patron for like a quarter.
Yes, and that is the friends and family, I believe, tier. Yes, and the higher the tier, the better saber you can win.
The higher tier is a more custom saber. Yes.
Right. So once again, thank you, Cavers, Dwellers, and Splunge for joining us, and make sure to subscribe and share this video. More chances to win free stuff from us. We'll see you next time. And check out tomorrow night. We have Saber Rattle. Who's the guest tomorrow night?
Kevin Edward Thompson, who was actually an Ewok in Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's done other stuff too, but that's probably one of the main reasons he's on the Star Wars channel. So yeah.
Awesome.
All right, we will see you
guys. I forgot to upload the video. I had one too. Check out our YouTube. I did upload the preview of tomorrow night onto the YouTube channel, so you can check it out there.
All right, so we'll see you guys.
Those shorts.
Yes,
they're so awesome.
Yes. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night in Saber Rattle.
All right. See you guys.
Have a good night.